With limited cap space and a long list of free agents, the Arizona Cardinals have a lot of work to do this offseason. And even if the Cardinals do manage to create some much needed cap space, the Cardinals are going to need to fill at least some of their roster needs with budget free agents. In this video, I'm going to identify 5 free agents that I think would fill key needs for the Cardinals without eating up too much of the salary cap. For most of these players, I'm going to reference contract estimates provided by Pro Football Focus. Obviously, these are only estimates and the players might end up signing for more than projected. So with that said, let's look at the first player on my list. Lorenzo Carter is an outside linebacker who has struggled to make an impact rushing the passer. He's only accumulated a total of 14.5 sacks during his 4 years in the NFL. Now I know what you're thinking, you're not doing a good job of selling me on him. But Carter has some traits that make him worth taking a chance on. First, he has outstanding athleticism. Prior to the draft, Carter ran a 4.5 second 40-yard dash and scored in the 98th percentile with his broad jump of 130 inches. Carter has the physical tools and length you look for in an edge rusher. And with Vance Joseph's ability to dial up pressure, I like his chances of improving in this area. But even if he doesn't improve as a pass rusher, Carter possesses another valuable trait for an outside linebacker in the Cardinals system. He has performed well when asked to drop back into coverage. As much as fans have hated seeing Chandler Jones or Marcus Golden dropping back into coverage instead of rushing the passer, this is a feature of many NFL defenses. And in 3 out of his 4 seasons, Carter has posted PFF coverage grades in the 80s, which is outstanding. Even if Carter doesn't put up big sack numbers, having a player with his coverage ability as part of your outside linebacker rotation could be worth the projected $4 million annual salary. And with the uncertainty surrounding Chandler Jones' future with the Cardinals, building depth at this position could be very important right now. With the signing of AJ Green last year and the role that Antoine Wesley earned later in the season, Cliff Kingsbury has shown us that he likes to have tall receivers on the outside, players who can compete for 50-50 balls. The AJ Green experiment was a mixed bag. He had some big catches and nice games, but unfortunately Cardinals fans will never forget the one fateful play that sealed a Cardinals loss to the Packers in Week 8. If the Cardinals move on from Green, as many fans hope they do, the combination of limited cap space and the possibility that the Cardinals re-sign Zach Ertz and Christian Kirk means that they may need to look for a budget option to fill the Z receiver spot across from Hopkins. If this is indeed the case, I could see the Cardinals looking to sign someone on an affordable contract to compete with Antoine Wesley for the starting job. Auden Tate could be just such an option. Tate is a former 7th round pick out of Florida State who measures in at 6 foot 5 inches and 228 pounds. He had a promising 2019 season with 40 receptions for 575 yards and 1 touchdown, averaging 14.4 yards per reception. Since then, Tate has found himself buried on the depth chart of a solid Bengals receiving corps. And while Tate isn't a household name, with his size, he could be a nice fit to compete with Antoine Wesley for snaps at Z receiver. PFF didn't provide a contract projection for Tate, but looking at contracts for comparable receivers, I'd estimate that a team could sign him for somewhere between $1 and $2 million per season. And at that price, even if Tate doesn't win the starting job, it would be worth signing him for depth at the position. With James Conner and Chase Edmonds both slated to be free agents, the Cardinals are going to have to make some tough decisions at running back. PFF estimates that it would cost a combined $12.5 million to re-sign both backs. But with how easy it's become to find affordable and productive running backs in free agency and the draft, it seems unwise for the Cardinals to spend that much money on running backs. The Cardinals struck gold by signing Conner to a $1.75 million contract last season, and if you're looking for another running back who might offer similar value, at a projected contract of 1 year and $1.5 million, Marlon Mack just might be that player. Mack rushed for over 1,000 yards in 2019, but between injuries and the emergence of Jonathan Taylor, he has become an afterthought in Indianapolis. Mack isn't as good catching the ball as Edmonds, but he is more accomplished running the ball. A running back room consisting of James Conner, Marlon Mack, Eno Benjamin, and perhaps a rookie taken on day 3 of the draft would offer a nice balance of cost and production. Going into the 2021 season, cornerback was an area of significant concern for the Cardinals. Between the departure of Patrick Peterson, not addressing the position until day 3 of the draft, and the abrupt retirement of Malcolm Butler, many fans had low expectations for the cornerback room. Despite these concerns, the group played reasonably well through about the first 2/3 of the season. Robert Alford quietly had a solid season. Byron Murphy Jr. seemed to be taking a step forward in his development. Journeyman Antonio Hamilton played well in spot duty, and rookie Marco Wilson seemed to be exceeding expectations for a 4th 4th-round pick. But then injuries started to hit. Alfred missed the last 4 games, Marco Wilson was banged up, and the Cardinals resorted to starting cast-offs and practice squad players. With Robert Alford a free agent, the Cardinals likely need to sign at least 2 veteran cornerbacks. While they might pursue a top free agent like J.C. Jackson, the Cardinals will likely need to sign at least 1 starting caliber cornerback on a modest deal. With a projected contract of 1 year at $4 million, Ahkello Witherspoon could be a good fit as that second cornerback. Unfortunately, injuries have been an issue for Witherspoon, but when healthy, he's shown the ability to be a solid starting cornerback. His PFF grades in 2021 were better than any cornerback on the Cardinals roster. If the Cardinals could assemble a cornerback group that included a top free agent like J.C. Jackson or Casey Hayward Jr., Ahkello Witherspoon, Byron Murphy Jr., Marco Wilson, and Antonio Hamilton, they would have nice depth at the position. 2 of the Cardinals' biggest trouble spots on the offensive line in 2021 were starting right guard and backup center. Ted Karras can help solve both of these problems. Karras spent his first 3 seasons as a reserve interior lineman for the New England Patriots, and in 2019 he became their starting center. After a 1-year stint as the starting center for the Miami Dolphins in 2020, Karras returned to the Patriots in 2021 where he split time between both guard positions. While Karras isn't considered to be one of the top guards in this free agency class, his 2021 PFF offensive grade of 72.9 was better than any offensive lineman on the Cardinals roster. At a projected annual average salary of $4.33 million on a 3-year contract, the Cardinals could pencil Karras in as one of their starting guards and slide him over to center if Rodney Hudson were to miss time again. Karras isn't likely to make a Pro Bowl, but he should represent an improvement over the players who started at right guard in 2021, and he would most certainly be an improvement over Max Garcia as the backup center. So which free agents would you like to see the Cardinals target? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please do me a favor and click like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Cardinal Rule.